Dr. Peter Glidden here. My favorite day of the week, Friday. Welcome to another live edition of Fire Your MD Now, 7 days before the end of the world. Isn't that just great? Now, you know, I've been doing some interesting research about this whole Mayan prophecy thing, and the Mayan elders who actually, you know, have a clue about their culture and the different types of time measurement that they are all about are saying that really what this means, what this particular end of this particular cycle means, is the return of the ancestors. Whatever that means. Return of the ancestors. You heard it here first on Fire Your MD Now. So keep looking up, ladies and gentlemen. Keep looking up. That's my advice. I was looking up last night for the Geminid meteor shower, and I was a little disappointed, quite frankly. I was out there for maybe 2 hours in total. I only saw maybe 5 or 6 meteors, 5 or 6 shooting stars. One was spectacular. Practically lit up the entire sky, lasted for about a second and a half, which is the telltale sign that it's a Geminid meteor. Geminid meteors tend to be slow-moving and have long tails, but really I only saw one. I'd like to know if any of the callers tried to see the Geminids and what their experience was with that. Although I have a feeling I may be the only astronomer in the group. 855-347-3696 is the number to call if you're listening to the podcast, or you call in live and would like information about how to order the stuff that I'm recommending that you order, and or get information about how to join our longevity family, our longevity coalition of the informed. That's the number to call, 855-347-3696. And the number to call in and talk to me today, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. I'd like you all to take a minute and just imagine for a moment, like John Lennon says, just imagine what the world would be like if all of a sudden you didn't need Big Pharma. Just imagine, what would that be like? How would the world change if everybody no longer needed drugs? What would the world be like if all of a sudden we all woke up tomorrow and nobody needed drugs? Well, power would shift dramatically. Money would shift dramatically. Wealth would shift dramatically. And the people that are in the, 1/10 of the 1% right now would no longer be in the 1/10 of 1%. Imagine what it would be like if we had free energy. Imagine what the world would be like if tomorrow we woke up and they unveiled the free energy electricity generator. Imagine what the world would be like. Power would shift. Money would shift. All of a sudden, the people at the top wouldn't be at the top anymore. For goodness sake. I don't know what we can do about free energy. That's not my domain. Maybe when we have more than 1 hour, starting in 2013, we can start to get into subjects like that. I'm not sure. Every once in a while, I'd like to take a walk on the wild side and go down that road, because that is right up my alley. But, I'm a licensed naturopathic physician, and this show is all about health care and alternatives to drugs and surgery. So I can help you to fulfill the first dream, because in point of fact, the only thing that drugs are necessary for is to help with surgical procedures when surgery is absolutely necessary. Look, sometimes, you've just screwed up so badly that the tooth has to come out. You have to get it drilled out. Thank God for Novocaine. Sometimes you have to take the antibiotic, right? Sometimes you have to take the anti-parasitic medicine. Sometimes you have to do that. And when the need arises, those medicines will save your life. But those medicines, represent one very tiny percentage of what pharmaceuticals are used for around the world. Pharmaceuticals are used for everything, well, even though they help hardly anything. right? You know, Big Pharma's motto, as reported to me by my friend and colleague Mark Denning, Big Pharma's motto should be selling you medicine because we suck at everything else. They do. I mean, they stink at it. Prescription medicine is the leading cause of death in the United States. MD-directed medical therapeutics are the leading cause of death in the United States. We don't need to use them. I mean, if for the simple reason that they just don't work, for goodness sake. Forget about, science-based, clinically verified alternatives. If it doesn't work, you don't use it. If you went to the store and bought a shovel from, Acme Shovel Company, and you stuck that puppy in the ground and put some pressure on it and it broke off, and then you went and got another Acme shovel and it did the same thing, and every time you did it, the shovel just snapped like dry tinder, you wouldn't use the Acme shovels anymore, would you? Well, why do we continue to use prescription medicines even though they don't work and they're the leading cause of death? Because the medical industry that prescribes them has monopolized the medical industry. The MDs. MDs don't own medicine, but they've convinced you that they do. And they've convinced you that I'm a quack, and that the chiropractors are quacks, and that the homeopaths are quacks, that the acupuncturists are quacks, that it's all placebo, it's all nonsense, it's all smoke and mirrors. Don't look at that man behind the curtain. Do not look there. That's their message. So, if you can imagine a world without pharmaceutical medicines, if you could imagine how that would change everything, if you can imagine money going from the pharmaceutical industry, instead of going to the pharmaceutical industry, going into your pocket, wouldn't that be a beautiful thing? I mean, wouldn't you like to have just 1/100th of 1% of the profits of Pfizer Pharmaceutical or Roche? Wouldn't you just love to have that? I certainly would. That would be to poke in the eye with a sharp stick, wouldn't it? Well, yes, it would. Well, guess what? I can help you to fulfill that dream, because you don't need to use drugs. For most conditions that most people are suffering from, there are science-based, clinically verified alternatives which support and promote the health of the human body to fix itself. So, if you can imagine a world without pharmaceutical intervention, without pharmaceutical drugs being number one, then you are a perfect candidate for my longevity network of men and women, and quite frankly, boys and girls. We've got kids in longevity. 8-year-old, 9-year-old kids who are building a longevity business with, of course, the help of their parents. And by the time those kids graduate high school, they'll be making, 4 figures a year. Wouldn't that be good? Wouldn't you like to have, or how about 5 figures a year? Wouldn't that be great? You can do it. How about 6 figures a year? Wouldn't you love that? And how about the magic 7 figures a year? Well, guess what? Everybody is sick in this country. Why is everybody sick? Because everybody has drunk the MD-directed myth of the Kool-Aid that tells them that the only person good enough to help them recover their health is the MD. Everybody's sick because everybody goes to the MD. Everybody has taken the wrong dog to the hunt. So who is your potential customer? Everybody. Go to the mall, throw a stick, throw a net. Knock on your neighbor's door. They're suffering with a health crisis. They are. Everybody's taking prescription medicines, not just one. Everybody is your candidate, so we throw a big net. If you can capture one person a month who wants to give our nutritional stuff a try, just one customer a month, and one business builder a month, one person who wants to augment their income, either part-time or full-time, with a longevity business, one business builder a month and one customer a month. That's it. And if everybody that you bring into the fold purchases just one Healthy Start Pack, one Healthy Start Pack, $120, one Healthy Start Pack a month, that's it. And every business builder that you bring into the organization does exactly the same. So every business builder you get brings in one business builder and one customer a month. That's it. And everybody just buys one Healthy Start Pack. On the 12th month, your check from Longevity will be $38,000. $38,000 in 1 month. I'm not going to tell you what it's going to be on the 13th month because you wouldn't believe me. And, this is a conservative estimate. That's just one person a month. One business builder and one customer. All right, 2 people a month, one of each. One business builder, one customer. I think you can do that. I know that you can do that. I've got people in my organization bringing in 10 people a month, bringing in 20 people a month. I've got one guy working on bringing in 100 people a month. Now, that really beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. If you can imagine a world where the pharmaceutical industry is replaced, ignored, and they fall from top dog status. If you can imagine a world without drugs, then I need your help. Call me up. 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. Better yet, call my friendly associates at 855-347-3696. That's 855-347-3696. We will sign you up into our Longevity family. We will teach you the easy method to show people the wisdom of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. You don't even have to be able to spell the word vitamin to help your friends and family and church members recover from their health and increase their wealth, and in so doing, make a gigantic difference in your pocketbook and also how you feel every morning when you get up, because maybe for the first time in your life, you're going to be a part of something bigger than you. You're going to be a part of a movement. You're going to be a part of an organization that's making a difference, not just trying to make a difference, making a difference right now. We're going to set all kinds of records in 2013, folks. Join us now. You do not want to be left behind. Join us now. Go to fireyourmdnow.com. Click on the Longevity button, and then click Join Us. Just follow the prompts on the screen, and once you've entered your information and paid a $10 membership fee, how about that? $10? I've spent $10 on coffee in one day, for goodness sake. $10. I've left tips for $10. I've given, it's easy. I can find $10. You give me a week, I'll find $10. I will. $10. You got nothing to lose. Join us, and we will show you how to make a gigantic difference in your pocketbook and in your health, as God is my witness. And we need the help, because there are people in your neighborhood suffering needlessly, people that went to bed last night praying to God for help. And guess what? You are the change they have been praying for. So call us, get serious, make a difference in your community, and let's really make a big splash moving forward into 2013. We're going right to the phones now. Sherilyn is up first, I think. Sherilyn, welcome aboard. Thanks for calling. You are live.
Hey, Dr. Glidden. Great opening you had today.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So what's up?
Would you tell me what the check would be the second year?
Well, on the 13th month,
13th month, yes. 13th month.
$72,000.
Woohoo! Check it out.
How about that? And, there are 6 ways that the Longevity company has to pay people. 6 ways. When you come in at the $10 level, which is what those calculations were based upon, you're only paid 2 of those ways. So I'm telling you, it's an extremely conservative estimate. It's a very conservative estimate. If people had any idea of the financial potential here, and there's hardly any risk. I mean, what do you got to lose? $10 and some time and some energy, and that's it. So really, the sky's the limit here with Longevity, and I can't encourage people enough just to give it a try. But here I go again. So thanks for calling, Sherilyn. How can I help?
Well, I'm already a rep, and yes, having the CEO package is the total blessing in the program. Got to get it, folks. I'm calling about 2 of my prospects, a husband and wife. Jamie is 5'6", is 56 years old. She's 128 pounds, and she was recently diagnosed with osteoporosis. She had a retinal detachment a few years ago, but that was corrected. and she lives clean. She doesn't smoke. She exercises regularly, and sees her doctor annually. So, what should she be taking?
All right, so you want to go to Dr. Wallach's website, please, drjwallach.com, drjwallach.com, and get your hands on the audio CD, Seeing is Believing. Seeing is Believing. That's a MD optometrist, I believe, or an ophthalmologist or some guy. He was an MD and an eye specialist, and it's about his testimony of things like macular degeneration and detached retinas and legal blindness and pityriasis rosacea, all going away with Dr. Wallach's medical nutrition. So when you get a detached retina, unless you're a boxer and you've been punched in the face or it's due to some type of blunt force trauma to the head, retinas don't just detach. The only reason they detach is because they've run out of the stuff that they need to stay healthy. It's no different than any other part of the body. So thank God that surgery was able to fix it or, reattach it. But the surgery isn't going to fix the process that made it detach in the first place, right?
Right.
Surgery is kind of like just painting over mold. Now, I'm not, surgery is the domain of the MD, and things like this they're really good at, and thank God for these procedures. But after we reattach the thing, we got to get to the root cause of what caused it to detach in the first place, and this is where the MDs completely dropped the ball. So, from our point of view, most ailments affecting the eye have deep roots in oxidative damage. So an osteoporosis, from our point of view, is a simple mineral deficiency, which is most probably exaggerated by consistent consumption of foods that leach minerals from the body. So, you're eating food that's sucking minerals out of the body, and then there's not enough minerals in the food that you do eat, and so all of this leads over time to a net negative loss of minerals, and then the bones start to become problematic, or the joints start to become problematic. It's really quite not very much different than if your car had a little slow oil leak in the oil pan. You didn't know about it. The more you drive, the more oil comes out, and then all of a sudden there's no oil in the car, and then the engine seizes, and holy smokes, now we're in trouble. So what we're going to do here is dietary intervention and antioxidant, upping the ante with our antioxidants. Dr. Peter Glidden with another edition of FireYourMDNow.com, and I'm as serious as a heart attack when I say it. Fire your MD now, folks. What are you waiting for? You don't even need to talk to anybody. You don't even need to, feel uncomfortable, being confrontational. Just stop using them. So, call them up. Call the nurse who works for your doctor. Ask them to transfer all of your medical records to you because you own them. The doctor doesn't. Yeah, they're yours. Get them sent to your house, and then, life is good. And that's the first step. The second step, cancel your comprehensive medical insurance by catastrophic medical insurance instead, so you are covered in case, somebody T-bones you at the intersection, or, you break a leg skiing or whatever. And then join us and educate yourself about the simple fact of the matter, that healing is easy. And it is much better to spend money on nutritional supplements than it is on medical insurance, because when you're buying medical insurance, what are you doing? You're betting you're going to get so darn sick you won't be able to afford it, right? That's what medical insurance is. Well, doesn't it make more sense to take active steps with science-based, clinically verified nutrition so that your body won't get sick? I mean, isn't that a better type of insurance? You're darn right it is. So snap out of it. Wake up from I am the red pill. Swallow the red pill, folks. Come on now. Snap out of it. You don't need your medical doctor. You don't need the MD. They're doing more harm than good. So let's take it to the next level in 2013. Now, we're talking to Sherilyn about macular degeneration and osteoporosis. And so the recommendation here for someone who's 128 pounds is going to be one anti-aging healthy start pack per month. and 3 bottles of Ultimate Selenium per month. 1 anti-aging healthy start pack and 3 bottles of selenium. She's going to need 360 capsules of glucogel a month. She's going to have to take 12 a day. So have her buy 1 glucogel at the 240 count and 1 glucogel at the 120 count, and life is good. Now, the only other additional thing that would be beneficial for her, it's my new favorite longevity supplement, is the Z-Radical. The Z-Radical has a super juice. It's got ORAC in it, and it has fucoidan. Fucoidan stimulates stem cell production, and stem cell production is, or generation. So that's never a bad thing to do when we're trying to assist the body to grow new tissue. The body grows new tissue all the time. Your body's replacing cells even as we speak right now. Body's chewing up old bone and trying to lay down new bone all the time. All of the time. So the Z-Radical will support that. The anti-aging healthy start pack will support that. And the only other thing that she would need to do, of course, is eliminate the 10 bad foods. And if she does those things, she should experience specific and measurable positive change over the course of 90 days. All right. Now, I think you had another question about her husband?
I did, thank you. He has I don't know how to say it. Tophocus gout? It's T-O-P-H-A-C-E-O-U-S?
Yeah, so that's just fancy schmancy doctor talk for gout that's in a particular joint. So is it particularly nasty in his great toe, do you know?
He didn't say, he said it's caused by uric acid, which I know.
It's not caused by uric acid. I mean, that's a misnomer. That's like saying that... I don't know I can't think of a good metaphor off the top of my head, but
he says he usually needs an air cast on his foot and crutches to get around during an attack or an episode. He's been taking Pro-Arginine 9 from a Dr. Prendergast.
Yeah.
Endocrine system and acid levels are no longer high, no painful attacks in a year. So, but that's his thing. He's 162 pounds.
Okay, so gout, of course. You know, you could say that lightning causes forest fires, but really the conditions have to be just right. You know, if lightning happens in the rainforests, it ain't going to cause a fire because everything's too wet to burn. So the presence of uric acid is only there. It's not because there's uric acid in the body. It's because the body is not metabolizing the uric acid properly. Now, taking the supplement that he's taking now is basically just going to be watering down the uric acid. It's not going to be getting to the root cause of why the uric acid is building up in the first place. And if he stops taking that stuff, the gout's going to come back. And meanwhile, the process that started the gouty condition is still present. He's managing it with that stuff rather than getting to the root cause and getting it out of his system. So he needs to go do an internet search for foods that are high in a biochemical called purines. That's P like Peter, U, R like Roger, I, N like Nancy, E, S, purines. Purines exaggerate gout. If you've got gout and you eat a food that's high in purine, it's going to aggravate the gout. Just like throwing gasoline onto a fire, it's going to make it worse. So he needs to identify and eliminate the foods that are high in purines, number one. Number two, he needs to eliminate the 10 bad foods from his diet. And I would recommend for him, ironically, or interestingly, coincidentally, the same thing for his wife, because what our perspective of the root cause of gout is a funky liver, and that's a medical term, by the way, funky liver, right? So we want to support and promote the health of his liver or anybody else's liver who's been given a diagnosis of gout. And the best way to help the liver is to give it selenium. Yeah, I mean, selenium is to the liver what calcium and magnesium are to the bones. Your liver loves selenium. So he's going to get 4 bottles of selenium a month and 2 anti-aging healthy start packs a month. 2 anti-aging healthy start packs a month, 4 bottles of selenium a month, plus the diet, plus no purines, and he can continue to take the arginine because he's not going to stop it anyway. And That's what I would do for 90 days. I would follow that road for 90 days. And remember, when we're recommending these protocols for people, right, it's so easy to get kind of sidetracked into the old MD way of thinking. Remember, we're not treating gout. We're not treating osteoporosis. We're not treating detached retinas. We're not treating anything. We're not treating conditions. We're treating people. And really, we're not really even treating people. We're recommending people take nutritional supplements into their body so that their body itself can optimize its function. So, you know, when we do this, most of the time, so let's say we get someone and they come in and their chief complaint is gout. Oh, doc, you got to help me with the gout. Give me something for the gout. So we give them a comprehensive holistic program that focuses specifically on helping the liver after we've given the boilerplate comprehensive medical nutrition stuff. So once they do that, for goodness sake, their sleep's going to get better, their energy's going to get better, their mood's going to get better, their sex drive is going to get better, their appetite's going to get better, their weight's going to get better, and if we get lucky, the gouty symptoms will get better. So always counsel people not to just be paying attention to their chief complaint, because this is not a treatment for a condition. This is a comprehensive, holistic tune-up for the entire body-mind. And if people can just keep a weather eye to that storm moving forward, if they can just be mindful of what improves, I mean, even if they weren't complaining about it in the first place, oh, son of a gun, my sleep's better. Well, thank you very much. Oh, son of a gun, my wife's looking attractive to me again. Well, thank you very much, right? So this is always a good thing to counsel people about. And once people start to become mindful of kind of the whole rather than just focusing on the part, we have much better, people stick with us for longer periods of time because they really understand, son of a gun, this stuff does work. I really do feel better when I take it, and I really do feel worse when I stop taking it. So good on you, Sherilyn, for taking up our cause here in Southern California. Your community needs you more than you know. So go out there.
I have picked up lots of people I need to ask you about, but this is just the first and most important one to do. So I'll be calling.
All right, now, well, look, stay tuned. On my website, you can sign up if you haven't already. Maybe you've already done it. I have an online health recovery program that you can sign up for. There's all kinds of information, all kinds of archived webinars. I have live webinars and all kinds of stuff for longevity people. And stay tuned, because in the first quarter of 2013, I'm coming out with a book. And it's going to be, from acne to xenophobia, what to do with longevity supplements. So get excited. We're going to make a big splash next year, Sherilyn, and we're going to need thousands of people just like you to move that baby forward. Keep up the good work. Have a very Merry Christmas, and thanks so much for the call. All right, it looks like we've got time for one more call in this segment. I think Gustius is next from Oregon. Gus, you calling in with a question about a blister? Thanks for the call. You are live.
Hi, it's good to talk with you again. I called in maybe 2 months ago about a dog with a concussion.
Yeah, what happened?
And he's doing just fine. And I got him some Arthrodex, and it makes him sick, even small amounts. He doesn't handle it well.
Is that right? So what I would do... That was my first question. All right, so the only reason a way that stuff can make an animal sick is if the animal's having a hard time absorbing it. And the only thing that would make an animal have a hard time absorbing it is if they were eating dog food that had crap in it. Or it might not be crap, but it might be a lot of grain. There might be a lot of grain in his dog food, and grain is going to upset his digestive tract the same way it's going to upset the digestive tract of a human. So when you give an animal good nutritional supplements with good recipes appropriate for their body weight, and something negative happens, that's a drop-dead indication that you need to switch his dog food to a different brand. And my advice, I'm not a veterinarian, but if it were my dog, I'd be giving him dog food that was completely grain-free, had no grain in it whatsoever. All right?
Well, he's been on grain-free dog food for some time now.
How long?
a long time, like 2 years.
When you give him the well, switch it out. Switch it out to a different brand.
Okay.
Because there's something in it that ain't right for him, and maybe it just says it's grain-free, but it really isn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so that's what I would do. I would just switch it out to a different brand, because that just doesn't make sense to me. I live in a part of the country here where I'm surrounded by woods, and I've got like 10, 12, 14 deer marching through my property every day. So I put a salt lick out, and I put the Arthrodex on the ground around it. And the deer ignore the salt lick, and they suck up the Arthrodex like it's like a party, right? So I think he needs a different type of dog food. Although remember, I'm not a vet, and that's really not my domain. Dr. Wallach.
Well, I've been giving him a brand called Taste of the Wild, and usually right now Pacific Stream Canine Formula with smoked salmon, and then he has a different one. Because I've been trying them because I want him to be healthy. High Prairie Canine Formula with roasted bison and roasted venison, grain-free.
Well, look. All right, that's good on you, man. It seems like you're on top of it. So what I'm going to recommend that you do, and we're coming up against a hard break, so stick around. I'll answer your other questions when we come back from the commercial break. But really what I would do specifically for this animal, I'd call Dr. Wallach up on his radio program, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, and ask him, because he was the world's leading research veterinarian pathologist before he became a naturopath. How about that? So I think this question is in Wallach's domain. Give him a call on his radio show. And stick around, folks. We're up against the break. Bada bing, bada boom. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, talking to Gustius. So give Doc Wallach a call on his radio show about your dog, and maybe I can help you with something else. Gus, where'd you go? Are you still there? Oh, it looks like we lost Gus. All right, so that's okay. Sorry about that, Gus. Looks like next, so I'm a little lost in the shuffle here, folks. So, hold on here. It looks like, all right, Billy from Kansas City calling in about his son who's got a hernia. Thanks so much, Billy, for the call. Sorry for the confusion. You are live.
Well, thank God you got to me. Right off the bat, I want to tell you, thanks a million for getting rid of my high blood pressure and the 45 excess pounds that I dropped off in no time. And just a quick story before I get to the hernia. I ran into my old MD at a convenience store, and he's like, wow, I had to do a double take. Oh, by the way, you haven't been in for quite a while for blood pressure medicine. And then I told him about you, and I told him what you did for me, and I might as well have been speaking Swahili, because the guy, he sat there with his 1,000-yard stare like he's a soldier just fresh back from Afghanistan, and he didn't get it at all. But that's predictable.
Well, it's quite amazing, isn't it? Actually, Billy, I mean, really, and these are the people that we're giving our trust and our money to, right? I mean, it's all of a sudden like you just snap out of it and you wake up and you understand, son of a gun, there's nothing really special about these guys. They're just people too, just like me. And, so in any event, good on you for taking my advice. And,
well, I'll tell you, as far as I'm concerned, these guys are the equivalent of Hannibal Lecter and Jeffrey Dahmer. And,
yeah, I'm with you there, buddy, 100%. I mean,
so it's... So that brings me to my second question, and anyway, I'll just spit it out there and see what you can do for me. Yesterday, my son at wrestling practice came home with the lower left side of his gut bothering him. I'd say it's about 8 inches on his left side from his belly button, and my wife brought him into the emergency room, regretfully, and they said it was and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, but it was an inguinal hernia or something like that. Well,
inguinal hernia, yep.
Okay, well, they said, he's got to see a specialist on Wednesday, and they're talking surgery, and I'm asking you if there's some other way we can handle this, something else he can do.
Well, so here's what I would do with an inguinal hernia. An inguinal hernia is the contents of the intestinal. Some of the intestines have pushed through a little tunnel in your groin area that nerves and blood vessels come through. It's called the inguinal canal. And sometimes you can fix that with manual physical medicine. All right, so do a Yellow Pages search for someone who does deep tissue massage. Deep tissue massage, and there's another technique. The Bowen technique. See if there's any practitioners in your area who are versed with something called the Bowen technique. B like baby, O-W-E-N. All right, the Bowen technique. Have them have your son assessed by one of these practitioners and see what they're experienced with, because sometimes you can push that stuff back in and you don't need surgery. Now, if you can push it back in and you don't need surgery, we need to support and promote his intestinal tract so this doesn't happen again, right? And the main reason that this hernias pop out is because tissue in the abdominal tract has lost its elasticity. And the main cause of a loss of elasticity is a deficiency in copper. Your body needs copper to make a molecule called elastin. And so if you run out of copper, your face starts to sag, your butt starts to sag, your boobs start to sag if you're older. If you're younger, you get hernias, you get hemorrhoids, you get varicose veins, you get spider veins. Your hair starts to turn gray, you get white spots on your skin. These are all caused by not enough copper in the body. So for him, 12 selenium a day, because the selenium supplement has the copper, and this, of course, is on top of the Healthy Start Pack appropriate for his body weight. So give him one Healthy Start Pack per 100 pounds of body weight and one bottle of Ultimate Selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month. Check out the Bowen technique before you go down the surgical road, because remember, you can never unsurgery something. And, you know, if he does need surgery, if it's so far gone that, wow, we really do need a surgical intervention, the nutritional supplements will strengthen his body so that he can handle that stress. Go get him, Billy. Your community is depending upon you. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Peter Glidden. See you next week.